So
there is no clamor for having a child. It is much more having a child than dealing with just raising a child. You need to be involved in your child's growing up. So the government, if children like this have seen Boko Harams in our faces and they have not been brought to books, it gives them an in-linking that, oh, I can also try it.
And get away with it.
Yes.
So a suspect, Ayomide Adeleye, a 200-level philosophy student of the Olabisi Onabanjo University, OOU, Ogun State, has confessed to killing Christiana Idowu, a 300-level student of the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, that's funaab. And according to the report, Christiana had left her home in the Italua area of Ikorodu, heading to the University of Lagos in the Yaba area of the state, where she was observing her industrial training before she was abducted by the kidnappers. Many Nigerians, including celebrities such as Arya Star and Lateef Adedimeji, took to X to demand justice for the slain, abducted funaab student. Yes, so this story broke, and for me, it's really a painful one. If you check the incidents, how it happened, how it started. She was just being abducted, and by the time they had reached out to her family, they said they should pay, I think, 3 million. Started from 3 million. Those ones kept looking for money. They negotiated and finally paid about 350,000 naira. Yet, she was not released, only for them to realize that the girl was killed. And by the time the suspect was caught, he confessed to killing her and burying her in his compound. Father's house. Shallow grave in his father's house. Then they also traced his story to the fact that he had already killed somebody else, I think an ex-girlfriend at some time, and then his sister also miraculously died or was killed by him. This is a young man.
23 years old.
23-year-old. So my question is, how... First of all, when you heard the story, what came to your mind? And how did we get to this point where very young people who should not have anything in their head more than the ability to finish school and do some work will involve themselves in killing another human being for whatever reason, whether it's money, whether it's clout, I don't know, ritual, I don't care. But what came to you when you heard the story?
So for me, I just feel that there's a lot of... social media has helped us to see more of the level of decadence in our society. Yes, there's a lot of decadence in our society. There's a lot of desperation in our society. And it's important that as we publicize the crime being committed, we also publicize the punishment being meted out to them.
Sure.
Because it seems like people have felt they can get away with doing these things. Or they've seen some people that sort of got away with it. So we're now seeing more copycats, people trying their luck, people kidnapping their younger ones, kidnapping their parents, kidnapping family, like just any way to make this quick buck. So I'm of the opinion that we cannot solve the problem by just demonizing or complaining about it. We will solve the problem by creating a stiffer penalty for it. I remember when I was much younger, really, really young, and Babbage was synonymous with public gunshots, hanging, killing of criminals. It was a way to put it out there that this is not who we are. If we catch you, we will kill you. And we're going to kill you publicly. You will be put to shame. And your entire family will know because they call out their name before killing them. So they know these people are being publicly, justice is being meted out on a public level. And it will send a message. It will send a wave to the audience, to everybody watching that this is not condoned. If you are caught, you'll be dealt with. It doesn't mean it will stop it, but it will reduce the prevalence. It is worrisome for someone this young to resort to doing things like this. It makes you feel like, is it that all through secondary school we were not exposed to our creative ability? You can create this money. How much? 300,000 naira.
350.
350. Even if it is a 3 million, there are people that tell you they made their first million while they were in their 100 level.
Yes.
From creating solutions, creating businesses. So I feel we need to talk to ourselves again. People need to share their genuine story and then publicly punish those who are caught doing things like this. This is not us. This is not who we should be. And this is not who we are.
And
it's not economy. It's just crime. Crime is
crime. It has
for me, so for me, when I heard the story, I was actually hot because she didn't do anything wrong. Because from the story, they said she was going back home and then it started raining and she was looking for shelter. And that was how this guy, and she's known the guy for a very long time.
Wow.
That they go to the church, they go to church together. They go to the same church. And again, I think,
so that boy goes
is
to
it
church?
the same school?
Yes. In fact, one of his caption, he wrote, "A boy Jesus loves."
Yes. So they go to church together, and so he accommodated her, you know, come, it's raining, and then, you know, he housed her and everything, and that was where he took the opportunity of killing her. So I'm now thinking, I'm now looking out for what did she do wrong to even, how did she deserve this type of treatment, you understand? So this boils back to the fact that when I now heard the story, I heard that he killed his ex-girlfriend, and then he killed his sister. First of all, the thing that came to my mind was his mother. And I was like, the mother knows that this is the kind of child that she has. You understand? He killed his sister, and nothing happened to him, and he's still in the house. I'm just wondering the way the relationship is in the home with him, knowing that your son, you know that your son is this kind of a person. You understand? And he was not brought to book. Nothing happened to him until he committed another. So he has killed
the third one.
This one now. And now he's now that they said the father was even with the police. The father is even able to even bring his face up, and you know these things that kids do. I don't know what to say, and I don't even understand. So first of all, I would just say that now we just need to understand that this kidnapping business is now a business in Nigeria. I want us to have measures. Let's start. In fact, the government should do something, because you see now, parents now are the ones that negotiate with these kidnappers. If there are measures or there's an establishment, or will I say an agency, I don't even know what, the government needs to come in so that this time around it's going to be the people who kidnapped, and then instead of the parents negotiating for these things, let there be an agency that will be doing this kidnapping, and it has to be a swift response. It has to be fast. They have to be proactive. Yes, proactive, because I think he kidnapped her for 3 days. She has been with him. I'm sure he must have killed her maybe on the 3rd day or on the 4th day or something, because they said he sent a video of her being yes, in our WhatsApp and all of that. So if the government will come, let's accept that this is a menace to our society. This kidnapping business is there. Let's bring up agencies that will help us to start managing this crisis in this country, so that this thing will be minimized drastically. Proactive measures, and then, you know, work with all these the BVN or NIN to track all these people immediately and fast before they kill their victims. And I'm sure he killed her because, of course, if they find out, because she knows him now, she's going to disclose it and say he's the one that killed her, and you know, and it's going to be so that's why I'm sure that's why he killed her. But if we're able to quickly attend to this thing, I don't think victims will be killed at some point. So let's see how.
What came to you when you saw the story?
It was a whole lot for me, trying to wrap my head around how this femicide started growing. They need to kill young girls. They need to just end their lives abruptly. I don't know how that's, you know, as a person, looking at your fellow human have this life this minute, and the next minute the person is all up cold and lifeless, and how do you react? How does your emotion? You know, there are times that you even have goosebumps, even seeing accidents on the road. Yes. You're having chills all over you, like, God, these are people. Heartless. Then how do you become so heartless, so gruesome, that you murder a person? You probably see them fight for their life. You probably see them beg, wail, and you're all just deaf to it. So it shows that there is a problem from the inception.
Yes.
Inception will go back to foundation of the home. I will continue to say it. A lot of people do not have business being parents. But the condition of the traditional beliefs and the culture that we have been born into, it's like they have to be coerced, cajoled, or sometimes even forced.
Forced, yeah.
That you need to have a child.
Yes, sir.
There is no clamor for having a child. No, it is much more having a child than dealing with just raising a child, financially especially. The emotional side of it, the psychological side of it, you need to be involved in your child's growing up. Like Rama said, I don't want to believe that it's every mother who understands their children, because yes, these children too hide. These moments they look
smart now.
You go to schools when they ask that bring your parents, and they are giving you the CV of your child in a school. And you're looking at the child. I had a parent who I had an older friend who went to his son's school and told the principal that this was not the son I brought to your school. I mean, return that one I brought. But, I mean, it started developing even from the house. Then the mother started saying that, oh, yes, we have been chastising him on things that he does. We just don't let you know, you know. The Yoruba's adage that says, the talk that you said the daddy should not hear. It's the daddy that will still sort it. So a lot of times, we mothers, we also have a lot of work to do you are noticing that your child has maybe a group of friends, or your child's he has some kind of inadequacies, let the father be aware. Come to the round table as a parent. There are a lot of times I also see the deficit of engagement. These children are laid by, they don't have anything doing. They do not have anything that is motivating them, or their parents are not even pushing them to learn a trade, learn a craft, do something for yourself. And all they do is castle kaji enterprise, wake up, sleep, nothing, and the day is gone. So that's why I'll bring it back to the family unit. Again, to the government. If children like this have seen Boko Harams in our faces,
Yes.
and they have not been brought to book.
Yes.
It gives them an in-linking that, oh, I can also try it.
And get away with it.
Yes. It's in this country we saw that they apprehended one of these northern leaders, and they actually sent him to an early grave. And some kidnappers there on TikTok, as in branding,
showcasing money.
Showcasing money. So it sends a wrong signal to the children that we are trying to. I say it to people, I say, me that I'm trying to train my child now. My child will now go to the outside world and meet a child that was untrained
children.
So what is this impact that you have so solidified, or you have so built in your children, that will help them navigate that? Even when somebody is telling them to do the wrong thing, they remember the child of who they are. A lot of parents have that laxity. That children will grow. I've seen somebody who didn't ask of his son for a few years, between 3 to 5 years. And what he was saying, that when the son grows up, he'll look for his father. You need to be present. You need to be involved in that child's life. You need to help to shape the child. And like children, they see. It's not about what you tell them. They see your model. I remember going to my father's office and I saw that he was a hard worker. It spurred me to want to work hard. That if my dad can work like this and my mom can do multiple businesses, then who are me? Where did I come from?
Exactly.
Do you understand? So these things go deep down the root of parenting.
Even spot you at the level of your unconscious before you now became an adult.
I started working at the age of 17, not because my parents couldn't afford it, but because I found the reason early enough to get engaged. Like they say, your palms will not deceive you. And that's the inculcation that I got from home. And so many of us that have turned out very good, even if we had some downtime. And people can also say, you were trained by good parents. This is what you emulate. This is what we see.
Thank you so much, Dami. I like how you took us to parenting. Because at the end of the day, you know, everybody must take responsibility for how they have raised the souls that God had given them to cater for. And that's why we must be very careful. I always said it. I used to say that sometimes we always assume that our own generation parents, did a better job in raising us. And I always beg to differ. Because I feel that they got away with a lot of things because we chose to do better. If we had gone by the way some of us were raised, we will not be where we are today. We just decided, or maybe by one infinite hand, or circumstance, or the grace, you just, no, this life is not for me. I have to position myself. And then they will sit back and take pride. You did not raise me. I raised myself. Right? Now, it's unfortunate that many parents right now are not going to get away with lazy parenting. They're not going to get away with not paying attention to the emotional needs of their children. And this is not about anything they want to give them. We can't have gari and sugar and drink it comfortably in the house, knowing that the work will pay off later and we eat rice and chicken. What we see is because everybody just wants to shine. Whatever you bring home, nobody's asking you, where did you get this money from? Where did you bring this from? You hear things like, is it not your mates that is buying car for their mother? Is it not your mates that is buying this? Is it not your mate that is taking this person abroad? Is it not your mate? And then we lead them into things that they are not supposed to be processing at that age. Because we do not have that emotional connection, most times when they are already exhibiting some of these things, we don't know. Right under our nose, things are happening and we don't know. And because when I saw the story, I was like, he's 23 in 200 level. And I was trying to remember, what did I think of at that age? I was once 23. I was once in 200 level.
You were once 13.
Yes.
Progression of
where was my mind at that age? And also, it's not so much about blaming social media. I know that one has its advantages and disadvantages. But I always say that if you do not work on yourself, or if your parents do not help you at an early age to build yourself, you go on social media and you are upset that somebody is showing off something. It shouldn't be your business. You shouldn't be feeling a certain type of way. You shouldn't be triggered. So the question is, what is triggering me? That Tokma is flashing off her new car. Why should I be triggered? That's her car. So if I cannot say congratulations, why am I processing what evil can I do now so that I buy the same car that Tope has bought?
That's the one.
Who do I kill now so that I can buy the same car that Tope has bought? That means I already have a fundamental problem. It's from a foundation. There's a tweak in the mind already. And I also like the fact that, or I would say, not that I like because we've not gotten there yet, I would like that we carry out immediate cancelling of such people. You have taken 3 lives. Yes, let me use the word because we're on live TV. You have taken 3 lives. We should not even be putting you in police custody.
At all.
And we straight. What are we keeping you there for? Tomorrow night they say we need therapy and all. The 3 lives that you have taken, well, who's going to give them therapy? They are gone. So the fact that our people, young people, like Dami rightly said, are watching to see how we have handled issues like this so far, how the government has stepped in so far, and that is informing whether they should, you know, when you're processing, I want to do this, and I can get away with it, it's because you have not seen any painful repercussion of that thing. So the government needs to sit up. Some of these things that once you are caught red-handed, they trace it, is you. There's no space in the prison to keep you. A way PA straight, a move on to the next person. And they make it so public, like Tope said at the beginning, so public, everybody knows, your family knows, everybody knows the execution.
Can't lie you traveled.
Exactly. So we have a caller before I come to you, Tope. Good morning. Toby.
Good morning.
Good morning. No vex, Jerry. Matter they pay me.
I'm Toby calling from Bagada.
Welcome, Toby.
Well,
You're live.
I would like to say something. I think the parents should be blamed, at least to some extent. That parent, the guy's parents are very irresponsible. But according to the story, the guy has killed his ex-girlfriend and has killed his sister also.
Yeah.
So definitely, someone killed your own sibling, his own sibling, and he still stays with them together in the house. And how was he able to bury someone in their own compound and they were not aware? So definitely, they contributed or encouraged him to do so. Or maybe they hid everything he did. So he was able to, definitely be able to do more of that.
Thank you,
so
Toby.
I think those parents should be apprehended. They are very irresponsible. I think so.
Yeah. Thank you, Toby, for your thoughts.
So just chipping into what Toby said, there's this street around inside Obawole where my friend lives, and that particular day I was going to visit her, and I just saw that there was heavy presence of security, different cars. It looked like what's happening here. I just left here yesterday and coming back today, and we actually discovered that the man who is the landlord, who is the husband, had killed his wife, had killed 2 children, and buried them on the same spot.
Yeah?
Apparently, the one that gave him away was the last child that he killed, one of his children. And because the guy is an electrician who was known around the street, you know, we have these people around our streets that they are the ones, artisans that fix, that you're comfortable with them coming around. So people started to look for him. And that was it. So my friend was saying that she saw him the day before yesterday sitting on the fence, and she was asking him that you don't look good, and he said he was sick. Have you gone to the hospital? He said yes, he's gone to the pharmacies and he's gotten malaria drugs and all of that. And that was just like on a Tuesday, and this incident took place on a Thursday. So the presence of security around there was when they apprehended the man, and the news filtered that he had actually buried 3 persons in the same spot in his living room.
Oh.
I don't know what happened to that case, but because there was army, there was LNNC, there was police.
What was he killing them for?
That's what we didn't understand, and I'm trying to unravel that. Did this man have mental issues?
Maybe he's a psychological disorder.
You killed the wife, you killed the daughter, and now the son. So there are a lot of times, like, we are talking about this. How about the parents? What if the parents are in this line of duty? And they are the ones that the child have seen that, oh, if this can happen. Just imagine that the man was in court and he was able to maybe negotiate one of his children to his side. And the child will just simply look at, oh, if daddy can do it and
get away with it.
Get away with it. They will ask you, how is your wife? Oh, she traveled. She has relocated. Oh, where are your children? Oh, they are not around.
And they might have seen it.
Good, and nobody really finds out, because at the end of the day, it becomes what's your business?
Yeah.
Let everybody face
their family. Oh, let's take this call, Dorcas. Good morning, Dorcas.
Good morning, Nancy. So I really appreciate what you ladies are doing there. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I love you all, and Jesus loves you.
Thank you.
So what I really want to say is that as a parent, we should always watch our words. We should watch our words at the type of company they keep. Though we understand that whenever they left home for higher institution and all this stuff, this did not just begin when they left home for higher institution.
True.
So we have to watch the temperaments of children, the way they deal with their siblings, the way they deal with us as a parent.
Yes.
And always caution them and warn them that violence is not good. Before they will go out and build more on it and become what we don't understand. So it's heartbreaking for us to hear as a parent that your ward that is sent to school has been killed by another son
Another child.
Another child. This is, what are we turning into? What is this country turning into? So we should caution our children, because if it happens, it will still come back to us.
Yeah.
In fact, as a parent, they must reflect back to us that that family will never be forgotten in life. That is why we should not have any excuse given in bringing up our children. I just feel that God.
Thank you, Dorcas. Thank you so much, Dorcas. Stop right.
So I wanted to talk about the consumerism. When we were growing up, we would like to have a phone, but it wasn't like a do or die affair to have a phone. It wasn't a do or die affair to wear designers. We didn't have to flaunt that we're wearing new outfits every day on social media. We didn't have social media tracking that, that me. Is that not the top you wore to the party? So we are raising a new generation of people who unconsciously have consumerism as their mindset. And I had to go and Google, because it came to, when you were talking, it just came to my head that this is this is based on greed and consumerism. It is not economy, it's not hunger.
It's not
Don't
poverty.
kill somebody for poverty. This is not money for hunger. This is money for greed. This is money to flaunt. This is consumerism. And consumerism is like when you are spending money and seeing your ability to spend as a key to your well-being. The more you spend, the more you feel like you
better.
You feel better with your life.
Yeah.
And if we look at it, a majority of these teenagers into university, they fall into that trap. They want to use your hair. They want to wear your dress. They want to carry your bag. They want to wear the shoe that everybody is recognizing. And it is pushing them to crime. It is pushing them to bend the rules and question their values and say, it's
why
not so
is it
bad.
pushing them to crime? Because I can still want to wear your hair at that
choose
age
to work
and choose to work for it.
And choose to work harder.
And choose to harness my
But
skills.
if there's easier way, if there's an easier way to go about it, if you see other people doing the easier, following the easier part. When I was growing up, there was the easier part.
But why didn't you follow?
The peer pressure.
My parents drummed it into my ear over and over again. That if you try it, you can't escape it. You see, that's the thing. There will be repercussion, no? This thing, there is repercussion. All the movies were showing me repercussion. My parents were showing me repercussion. So when I saw that the easier way to travel abroad, and guess what? You will still do it.
You will still do it.
As a single person modeling, they were like, you get to travel to Paris. You go to. It's not the Paris we are going to. It's not the London we are going to. It's just the time that is different. Yeah. So you will still get to live this life at the right time with pleasure and with fun. But we need to have more. The voice needs to be, there needs to be a consensus of the values. So when your parents are the ones cautioning you, but when you go online, somebody is telling you that if you don't give me, if you want me for one night, you must be able to drop 20 million. If you want to see me, you must be able to drop 5 million. If they are seeing all of that and they're not seeing enough of, don't do it, there's AIDS. When we were younger, we were seeing AIDS.
Yeah.
They were telling us HIV,
AIDS.
if you do anyhow,
so scary.
if you do anyhow, you will just carry AIDS like that and you'll be like Kwashoko and be... So there were enough things to deter us from doing it, but we're not having enough of those.
So we have a caller, Kasmer from Ikeja. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, ladies.
You're live.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is a very heartbreaking thing to talk about, particularly as a guy.
We can barely hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Volume, please.
All right. So I said this is a very disheartening situation. I mean, this is becoming rampant in our society today, where We see all sorts of things like this on the internet. There is no day you open Twitter, you are not going to see young men. Either they've beheaded people for rituals or they've raped people. Just a few days ago, a 15-year-old boy went into their neighbor's house, which the girl is 14 years, is also a student in his school.
Yeah.
He used mortar pestle, hit her on the head, and raped her. And the girl is lying almost lifeless in the hospital. What kind of men are we training? Fathers, please rise up. Do not expect only women to, train female children right. And when you have irresponsible male children that we are training every day, the statistics is clear that men have the highest rate of crimes. Men are committing the most crimes in the world.
Compared to women.
Around everywhere, making the world almost unsafe, including for fellow men. Please, let's beam the light on the male child. We can't continue doing all sorts of things for the female child. Can we start arresting this issue by getting these children trained properly? Fathers, please, I beg us. Mothers, I beg us.
Thank you,
Raise
Kasman.
responsible children, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Kasman. This has been on my mind. It's quite
You know that
very
I saw,
important. So let me give you an example, first of all. So this is my coaching stuff that I started. We have men and women in the group. So far, the people that have indicated interest are mothers. And they are indicating the interest for their daughters.
Okay.
Yes.
And not the
What
boys.
is happening to the boys? Because the boy you neglected today, we meet your daughter.
Yeah.
You meet your daughter tomorrow. So why are we focusing on one gender and then living? And also, the fathers always claim we don't have time, I'm working and all of that. Who will talk to your son? I always push my husband to the son. See, this boy does not look at me the way the girls look at me. He see me as one of the babes in the house. So you insist on this and talk about it. That's your job, but I'm not going to do it for you. I remind, have you spoken to your son today? Have you discussed with your son? Have you asked about his crushes or his babe? Me, I gist with my daughters. I don't have an issue.
Yeah.
But anytime I try to have that conversation with my son, there's a way he pushes me down like as if I'm one of the babes in the house. He doesn't give me that. So I say, you do that. You handle that. You model to him, man to man, because he has, he will respect you more than he will, he fears me. Not that he will not respect me, but the way he will take the conversation when it's coming from his mouth is different. So men should sit up and do their bits.
You know, when I saw that post on X, that's the one that this caller mentioned. Immediately I got home, I just called my son. My son is 11 years old, and I sat him down because that's one conversation I've not had with him, rape. Because I'm like, he's still a child, and he's still at home, you know, he just goes to school and comes back and everything. I just told myself, don't underestimate that age. I think we need to start early now.
Very early.
I now sat him down, I started talking to him about rape. I was not telling him this is this, this is that. I know you have crushes in school because he talks about some of his crushes in school and all.
And that is
so I started talking to him about it, and I was like, don't force any girl. Oh, this is what happened to this guy. Look at him, 15 years. Look at him, no beards, nothing on his face. And so innocent. They were so young, and you know, nothing. And he was just looking, and you can see the way they're just carrying him there, you know, put him in the Black Maria, and they were taking him at that age.
At that age. And
we have a caller before I come to Dami. Alozie from Surulere. Good morning, Alozie. Oh, sorry, we lost the call. Dami, you were about to
I was going to make a reference to intentional parenting and, of course, the things that we show. There are some times that we speak it, we do it behind closed doors, but now it is necessary to show. I was going on the streets of Instagram yesterday, and particularly I will mention Benro Ajibade, the Osas, and they have a daughter. And each time Benro is posting about how he is intentional about their daughter. In fact, I had to put a comment yesterday that Nigerian men should come and collect your manual because it shows when he's working and it shows when he also has time to groom and raise his daughter. They were in the bath, she was brushing, he was helping her file her nails, making her, preparing her. And I can only imagine that, yes, there was a music overlay, but there will be certain conversations that will be going on during that. Nigerian men cannot
bonding time.
Nigerian men cannot say they are too busy to be intentional or to be available. If you are busy to be available now, you will be available in prison. Because if we get to the point when we have to apprehend children with their parents, maybe some parents will also sit up and do better and cover that loophole of negligence.
Yes.
And it's
Which
not a
is what
woman alone.
It's
I
not a
love
woman thing
that.
alone. The
raising your child
woman's
to
job
just
is
your wife.
one of the like easiest because the most difficult job is to push the baby, carry the pregnancy and push the baby. Parenting becomes a two-way thing.
Yes.
There are two
Yeah.
people. I used to say jokingly, I say two people that they are doing panakira. Are they expecting blender? Are you expecting plasma TV? Of course, you know that it's a child that will come. So
I'm already tired of you. If we have Damilola, your namesake, from Ijebu. Good morning, Damilola. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is the first time caller.
You're live. Please speak up so we can hear you.
Yeah, this is the first time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, Dam Lola, my namesake. I much appreciate your view on this matter. What I just
Can you raise the volume? I can't hear him.
I said, Dam Lola.
And he went lower.
I think it's still there.
He's still there.
Can you speak up, please?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm still talking.
It's still
Okay.
there.
Yeah, I remember when I was growing, it took me 25 years of my age to even be able to get something for myself. You know, like when I get things from outside to home, my grandma would always ask me, where did you get this thing from?
Yes, now.
And I was even a graduate then. I get in it. So at the time, I found out that, yes, I needed this independence on my own as a person, but I wasn't getting it. At that age, 25 years, so I was just shocked when I saw this male of a 23 years old go to this kind of business. Then I find out that, say, when we are looking at this thing, what has happened to people in the past who have gone into this business, who have actually made this business, to people, this business is lucrative. So, critically, when we are looking at it, if we have a society that celebrates bad money, definitely you will get it.
Yeah.
Things like this.
Yeah.
And in other words, if we are in a society where bad money are being turned into good money, and we don't even look at those things at all. Everybody brings money into the society, into the business. We don't even care about where the money is coming from.
Yeah.
I so much appreciate you ladies, because I found that when I studied using the ladies, I found out that you all have other businesses you do.
Yeah?
You want Hunger to kill us?
Are you getting it?
Oh, no, go, what there?
Hey,
You
Hunger will kill
also
us.
have other things
Yes,
going.
of course.
Are you getting it?
We're adding more self, sir.
If you say work for me, I define work.
And it's something. And it's still something.
Thank you so much,
to
Dami.
appreciate.
Yeah,
So that's all it.
thank you, Dami. Yeah, thank you, Dami. So there's also something, we're wrapping up now, our time is gone. Something I want to always say, and I know that children have the ability to pretend at home, but they can effectively pretend when you have lost your skill of observation as a parent.
Connected.
Yes. You're not connected. That's why they can pretend. Because if you're connected, you can tell when your child is lying. You can tell when your child is sneaky. You can tell when certain things change about your child. You must be able to tell. That's why you're a parent. But unfortunately, we raise children without that emotional connection. It's not about popping children. You know, I'm happy. As it's entering, you are popping. I have 6 children. I'm a proud mother of 7 children. And you're not connected to any one of them. When those things start, and it starts really early, so I pay attention to how they talk, what they talk about, their language, how they
Their interests.
How they relate to people around them. When I have visitors, how do they relate? How do they relate to people they look at as lower in terms of status? How do they relate to the helps? How do they relate to the cousins that come to the house? How do they mingle? How do they take things without asking? How selfishness, what sort of selfishness do they show? Those are some of the signs that you will see early. Entitlement. A lot of children are entitled.
Because he's my father.
Thank you. You see those signs early and you start talking. You start, let's leave beating out of it.
Let me
You
just
start
quickly say
talking
this.
till, go ahead.
There's a word that I learned a few years back, presence. There's proximity without presence. You can be close to someone, but you're not present in their life.
Yeah.
As parents, you need to be, there must be proximity and there must be presence.
Together.
Which means that you are there. Not lost in your phone as well.
When you are there, you are there.
You are there and
Presence.
you are observant.
Yeah.
That is when you can see things that they are trying to hide from you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's a place of prayer. That all the lessons we have put, all the values we have put in our children, we see the results for it. They don't hear from us and choose to do the opposite of what we have taught them.
Yeah, so there's this thing I want to add.
Let me add this. So mothers, we shouldn't be ashamed when our kids bring up some kind of behaviors.
Yeah.
We should be able to reach out to another mother and say, okay, this is what my child, I've noticed this and this from my child. And please, can you please, give me ideas or give me suggestions on solutions on what I should do and how I should handle such situations and all. Because this guy that killed...
They should not stigmatize.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing.
That's why Mommy Tope came to tell me that. No.
Even if they stigmatize, now you cause them. If you did not go and steal, nobody will call me a mother of a thief. You caused it. So yes, we should also use our chest. And I want to finally add that as an adult, you will bear the consequences of your actions.
Yes.
Even if they did not train you at home, you could train yourself. Even if your parents have failed you, this advice now we're giving to parents is for probably new parents still raising children. If you already have a 30-year-old son in the house, he's not a child anymore, which training do you want to? You have lost out on that. So this is more for early parenting. But you as an adult, you have gotten to a certain age, you look at your life and you ask yourself questions. What do I want out of my life? Because every action that you take, you alone will bear the consequences, you alone will bear the responsibilities. Thank you, ladies, darling.
To our religious institution, because the boy actually posted a picture and said the boy that loves Jesus. And his Twitter name in Japanese, his Twitter name in Japanese means serial killer. Education. Yes,
can you
that's
imagine?
his Kibi, the name he gave on Twitter. When they went to dig it out in Japanese language.
It has eaten deep in
there was a hint, but education did not let us.
But you see where the mother, this is where you're talking about the president. The mother will have called him out, just like the way you remember the guy that tried to bomb that that Delta airline. It was the father that called him because he noticed that the way the guy was moving and the way he was behaving, he called him out. So the mother will have called him out a long time ago, especially when he killed his sister.